What's going on, guys? How are you guys all doing this morning? So we're just getting finished up on the bounty course preparations for this damn thing. We got a couple things we got to do left before we make our way over to Alabama in about 10 or 11 days. Just recently, I had OX Off-Road get in touch with me, and they're the guys that actually sell the Halo Lockers electronic sway bar now. Guys were really interested in what I do, and they wanted to send me out another sway bar for the race buggy. So we got that in the mail a couple weeks ago, and now as it sits, it's all out of the box. We've got a couple pieces to this whole puzzle. Pretty simple install. One of the best upgrades I would recommend, if you ask me. It's probably one of the most used buttons on my dash in my Turbo S. I have one of these in my Turbo S, and it's been in there for about a year. I freaking love it. So here we got our electronic sway bar. This is our little actuator motor, which disengages the center lock. This bar actually has 3 adjustments on the ends, so you can actually make it stiffer or a little bit more body roll if you want. Here we have the bracket, and this piece is powder coated black. It comes with 2 bolts that actually hold onto the motor. I will show you guys that here in a little bit, but it will attach like so. And then this side of the plate will bolt to the rear firewall behind the seats. Right here we have our harness. This is all pre-configured. Everything is good to go. You literally have a positive and a negative, and then you have a plug. This plugs straight into this little module, and then this switch mounts on the dash, and away you go. Now, if I have any issues or for some reason that this harness does not reach, I've actually got a spare harness right there from last year when I did the first, we were doing some kind of like research on like what harness would fit the RZR. So that was one of the older style harnesses. I just kept it around. So another thing to keep in mind is that this sway bar uses a 27mm bushing. I said that all wrong. Redo this. Stand by. The XP1000 has a 27mm bushing, or 27-inch. Oh my gosh. The XP1000 has a 27mm bushing, okay? The Turbo S has a 28.5. Looking at the 27mm bushing, whenever you would go to put it on the actual bracket, the problem you would have is it wouldn't just slide on like this one. The 27mm is a little bit smaller. Therefore, the problem we were having was this. You can see it like expands to, and then yeah, see how it pops off? So that basically means it's wedged into position. This is not a good one. This is too small. You need a 28.5. So keep in mind, you do this upgrade, you're gonna need 28.5mm bushings. You can get them off Turbo S. I think you can get them off XP Turbo too. But we're going to disconnect the limit straps. We're going to disconnect these little sway bar links, disconnect the bushing mounts that hold the sway bar in place, and then this whole thing should just slide out pretty easily. We'll install the harness first. We'll install the sway bar last. Make sure our harness is long enough. We're going to mount it in the dash. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that sucker right here. That way I can go straight from my steering wheel to the dash and just hit it on the fly. I think it'll work best that way. Plus I've got all my other little spots already taken up. I think this is probably the best spot to put one. So stay tuned, guys. This should be a really fun little video, and it'll give you guys a lot of information on this electronic sway bar and how badass it is. This thing's pretty badass. It's badass. Let's get this damn garage door open. I gotta get some sun in here. So I think what we're gonna do first is just go ahead, put the switch in the dash. Beautiful day. Put the switch in the dash, we'll get the wiring ran, and then we'll do the sway bar last. Because I gotta pull these seats out and I'm really putting it off. So this switch is gonna be right here. Suppose we can start cutting a hole there. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a hole right in the middle of this thing. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like there's something like right there. but I have no idea what it is. What is that? Well, Dave, you could have just done that, bud. And then you would have known that that was a stupid place to put the frickin' switch. I'm an idiot, guys. I shouldn't have done that. Because that's where the damn tab is. I can't believe I just did that. That was really stupid. Well, I just screwed that one up. So I guess we're going to be moving this thing over a little bit. Gosh damn. Whatever, guys. Whatever. Damn it. Damn it. I can't believe I did that. Well, I mean, I can, but... So, do I want that switch right here? Man, how tall is that? I need to measure this switch. They were nice enough to go ahead and pin it out for you. So, thanks. Alright, so we got this hole cut after we screwed up and put that booger in the middle. We got this one figured out. This thing fits tight. I'm not going to put the switch in there until I've got the wires running through, but you guys get the picture. Alright, so I got two heat shrink connectors here, and basically I'm just going to put these onto the positive and negative ends of this harness here. These wires are already stripped and everything. Now we've got our two little terminals heat shrinked onto the end there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little 10mm socket, and we're going to take off our two leads here and get our wires hooked up. So on this old XP1000 here, we're just going to be removing the middle terminal, which is the ground, and then the left terminal, which is the accessory circuit. Because obviously you don't need this thing energized or running or operating or anything like that when the machine's turned off. There's just no point. Let's go ahead, let's hook up our ground. Ground's going to be the middle lead. Now what we'll do is we'll take the positive lead, get that flipped the right way, get that put on. Okay, that's on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to hook up our switch to this, and we're going to give this thing a test. Alright, so now we got our switch hooked up, we got our wires hooked up, we got our positive hooked up to our accessory lead, we got our negative hooked up to the ground, which is the center one. All we got to do is turn the key on the dash, and then this thing should operate. Right now we got it in the locked position. We should have a little light in there. Okay, there it is. And when I lift up on this bar, you can see that this one, it's locked. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip it. You can hear that motor start actuating. Now you have is full articulation between one side and the other. Very simplistic design. And that's it. And it locks back into place. Pretty simple. All we're going to do now is take the wiring, run that through the tunnel, and then we'll get this thing mounted up. Alright, so quick little update. We got the tunnel pulled out. I went ahead and I extended this harness because it was just too close for comfort trying to get this thing to fit. I think this thing's made for an X3. So we went ahead, we extended the harness. This thing will probably fit a 4-seater now, so I'm just going to bundle this wire up in here underneath the tunnel, zip tie it up, and we'll go ahead and get the other sway bar put in there, get this thing hooked up, get it all buttoned up, tidied away. All right, so these little carriers here are those are 13mm nuts there. There's they're carriage bolts, so you don't need to hold the back side. All right, so we got the old sway bar out, got the bushings out of the way, got all the hardware sitting in place, ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing, slide it into place. You're gonna have the motor of the thing. This is gonna be on the passenger side, so if you're looking towards the front of the machine, make sure that the plug is upwards and pointing towards the passenger seat, not the driver's seat. And the reason for that is to just keep all the moisture and everything dripping off of this thing and not have it be like a trap for water. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and I put in the electronic sway bar. We've got the bushings installed, and I went ahead and I installed the bracket. When we drill the holes for this bracket, you can see the two little bolts that go in the bottom there and the little hook device. Then you've got the clamp. So now this clamp is going to have to be situated to where it's going to be evenly spaced apart from the firewall, and you're going to have to come up with some spacers to put in here, because That's probably the best way to go about it. Is just get some spacers in there, and then that thing will lock up nice and perfect up against the rear firewall. All right, so now we've got the sway bar in here. We still got to hook up our end links, but we've got our bolts mounted through there. We've got our little spacers in there. Don't mind the mismatched nuts, whatever. We've got our harness plugged in. We are good to go. All I got to do now is get this tunnel put back on there and then get the seat put back in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. Well guys, I got everything buttoned back up. I was gonna do a quick little run through and take this thing outside and show you guys how it works, but I think the best way to go about that is to show you guys on the next video when we go out to bogs and boulders for the WTF Bounty course. I'll show you guys inside the cab and out of the cab how this thing operates and what the differences are. And yeah, this thing's going to be a big key factor to me winning this next Bounty course. This will be our 4th one. I'm super excited for it. And yeah, wish me luck. I hope to see you guys out there. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, share this stuff with your friends. We'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all take care.